you and welcoming all of you to the auspicious occasion of Chinmaya Jayanti, where we celebrate the 110th birthday of Swami Chinmayananda Saraswati, the founder of Chinmaya Mission and our very own Gurudev.
And incidentally, it is also the 75th year of Chinmaya Mission, so that's an even bigger celebration for all of us. So let us start this beautiful event of today by getting to know about our Swamiji and his life and about the mission. Chinmayananda was born in Ernakulam, Kerala on 8 May 1960 and was lovingly known as Balan by his family members. He was a very clever boy. He was equally interested in studies, playing badminton was one of his favorite sports, and even spirituality from a young age. He later went on to complete his BA in literature and then pursued journalism. And in his early journalistic days, he wrote under the pseudonym Moti and became popular to represent the views of a common man. And he was a very patriotic person and thus also a freedom fighter, for which he also witnessed time in jail. And as opposed to common expectations, he was an atheist.
So how did an atheist like Balakrishna Menon turn into this magnanimous personality of Swami Chinmayananda, right? So there were certain incidents in his life that served as foundation for his spiritual journey. So first was the influence of Swami. So Swami was a renowned saint from the southern part of India who used to visit Bharat's family. And after his satsang and after his lunch, he would sit on a cot and then ask Bharat's mom to bring Bharat to him. And he would tease him, he would play with him, and he would mysteriously talk with him in a foreign language. That was the first influence. Second was during daily prayers, when he grew a bit more. Bharat, as a young boy, used to feel very bored in their daily prayer session because he was a young boy after all. So he was so bored that he had to invent his own little game of recreating the photo of Lord Shiva in his Poojya room, in his own mind. And unintentionally, he was practicing a form of meditation at that young age. And as Anusha said, Gurudev was, Balakrishna Menon was part of the political movement and had to experience jail, some time in jail. So that was a time when the plague was going on. So he had to witness a lot of disease and death, and even he fell victim to the plague and almost came close to death. And that made him reflect on death and disease. That if everything just culminates in death, then what is the point of life? So his reflection started from that time. And then after his brief stint as a freedom fighter, he started his career as a journalist. And during that time, he read a magazine and read an article by Swami Shivananda from the Divine Life Foundation. And that motivated him to visit Rishikesh, visit Divine Life Society Foundation in Rishikesh. And he said that he wanted to expose his sadhus and that's why he was going there. But secretly, he also wanted to test something in spirituality and if it could answer his questions. And yes, it did answer his questions. And he took Diksha from Swami Shivananda and Balakrishna Menon became Swami Chinmayananda Saraswati, our own Gurudev. Even after that, he wasn't done. He wanted to study more and he decided to go and study under Sapor Maharaj on philosophy of God and spirituality. And Sapor Maharaj was someone who led a very austere life and Gurudev also had to lead a very austere life because of that. Now something happened in the midst of this. What is that?
So while Swamiji was there in the Open Poojya, interesting incident took place, and he once saw Swamiji discussing about the text of I Chinmaya Jayanti, which made him question that what do people of India, the ones who are sort of cut off from their roots, think about the spiritual text. So he talked about this experience, transformative experience of his in one of his speech called Ganges and Fortitude,
was on the other side, on the middle of the river. It's a beautiful melody, a songful sound from the water rumbling through it. When she meets a little obstacle, she clearly jumps over. If that obstacle is a little higher and she cannot jump over it, she doesn't stop there and despair saying that, what can I do? She collects her white sari and go around. Around. Suppose if she meets a big mountain, she can't jump over it, she can't go around it, she takes it a joke, and wrapping her shoulder at the foot of the mountain, she goes, and she knows the mountain cannot be for eternal time. It may be 1 mile or 2 miles, and there the mountain is again. She turns around the mountain, and they will proceed in the same direction that she has decided the beginning mind. Ultimately, she pulls herself into the Bay of Bengal and reaches beyond the 7 oceans of the world. Be like Mother Gay.
Glorious immortals, salutations and adorations. Om Namo Narayana. It is a grand idea. Spread of the message of the Upanishads is the need of the hour. You will be doing the greatest service to the Lord's children by taking to their very doors the sublimest of wisdom. The Rishis will shower their blessings upon you. The Lord's grace will enable you to attain success in this divine undertaking. May God bless you with health, long life, peace, prosperity, and Kaivalya Moksha. Thy own self, Shivananda.
Well, now it will be harder to convince the Poojya Maharaj.
Scene 2.
Hariom Gurudev.
Hariom Chinmaya.
Gurudev, I was meditating by the banks of river Ganga when I felt an intuition.
What intuition?
That the people of Bharat are suffering and there is a need for the revival of moral and spiritual values. The priest caste is supporting only the letter, not the spirit of the religion.
So what are you suggesting?
I was thinking that maybe I could go down to the Great Plains and take this great knowledge and share it with the common people for their betterment.
You don't know what you are asking for. You will get permanently caught up in the wheel of work. That is the nature of activities. You start the action and the activities themselves take charge of us.
But Gurudev, I think this is my inner calling.
No, Chinmaya.
Well, perhaps it is a test.
And go down the plains, he did. But before sharing the spiritual knowledge with the common masses, he decided to diagnose the situation. He decided to travel throughout India and talk to people from diverse social and economic conditions. And then he understood that yes, people of India were in dire need of a direction. And that just reinforced his faith. So he held his first informal public talks in Kerala, his own hometown, which was organized by his former schoolmate Shankar Maharaj and his stepmother. And then he decided to keep Jnani Yajnas. So usually Yajnas are understood to be sacrifices. But Gurudev gave a very unique definition of Yajna as cooperative endeavors to fulfill a particular goal. And Jnani Yajnas in this context would be cooperative efforts to fulfill the goal of invoking divine wisdom. And for the location, he found Pune to be the best location because it was pleasant was filled with educated Hindus. And educated Hindus were the main ones who were cut off from their roots, right? And before starting with this yajna, he wanted people to know about what they'll get if they attend the yajna. So he made a public address, which is now famously known as Let Us Be Hindus.
Okay, let us end for today. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Swamiji. Yes. Only 18 people were there today. Aren't you disappointed? Disappointed? I am overjoyed. You know, my Gurudev had told me when I left.
Consider yourself lucky even if you have 10 or 15 listeners for Vedanta, especially when you take up an Upanishad as the textbook. Scriptures have no charm for the ordinary folks.
There were more than 15 people today. We must consider ourselves more than lucky. Hare.
Even though there were only 18 people in the first area, due to the very charming way of speaking of Gurudev, more and more people kept getting attracted to these areas. Gurudev had a very specific style of speaking. He talked as if the hall was full of people. He talked using a modern language and was very straightforward in his messages. He also had a very specific thing that he used to make comical statements or jokes which made him more charismatic towards people. And thus, more and more people were joined to this family. And we can see the way Swamiji talked in one of his interviews. So let's see what he said.
point. The only spiritual truth is shut up and get out. And nothing so little. Shut up to your mind, not to your mouth. Let the thought may not come. And get out of this misconception that you are a body. From something more than a body. You're not a body. You're ultimately the eternal essence, the self. The consciousness that life in you. The life in you is life everywhere. Discover your identity with God, the one life everywhere. And that cannot be done until you shut up. So that all that I can tell you is shut up and get up.
And apart from this, he was very, as we said, he was very straightforward in his messages. So he told people not to blindly accept the superstitions or beliefs. And he also knows that he discouraged dogma. That is, if you want to believe something, you must know why it is happening or why it is a certain way. And in his sessions, he used to answer the simple and daily-life questions of people, which made people think that he is someone who is very approachable, and thus we can also hope for a holistic development from him. So the intellectual development happened through his 1.5-hour sessions. The emotional development happened through chanting of mantras every day. And he told people to have self-control, whereas stealing from the objects of materialistic world. And he told us to have observation of our daily activities so that we can understand ourselves better. Now, as we talked about the spirit of yajna, we saw that it basically means many people coming together and putting efforts towards a particular goal. And Chinmaya Mission is a perfect example for that. So even then, there were many enthusiastic savers who recorded, transcribed, typed the sessions out, and made booklets about them. And these booklets were given as prasad. So instead of giving sweetmeats as prasad, Gurudev recommended to give the sweetness of wisdom as prasad. And that's how the tradition of prasad pustika started. And soon the request for these booklets started coming from all over the country. And printing is not for free. So donations were required for the same, and that's when we started taking donations. Now, what was the role of Gurudev in all of this? So Gurudev was a perfectionist. He always told the members of Chinmaya Mission,
every action must be done consciously and attentively. The attention of the mind is to be on the hands. Even with just this one practice, you can become a yogi.
And he was also a devout Shishya. He also sent the first 2 manuscripts of every booklet to his 2 gurus, Swami Shivananda and the Poojya. And the manuscripts of all these 100-day talks were combined to form the Keno Upanishad textbook that we have today. And many of us might have studied that as well.
And the yajnas followed. After the first yajna held in Pune, the second yajna was held just a year after that in Madras. And here, Gurudev started discussing easy topics of daily life and then moving on to more philosophical topics. Within just 5 years, there were 25 yajnas and a family of 50,000 people. And with this, as the yajnas began and more people started coming, his guru, Tapovan Maharaj, also started accepting Gurudev's idea of coming down and spreading this knowledge among people. And he also sent letters addressed to the attendees of these yajnas. With this, Gurudev also started morning classes on Bhagavad Gita and Viveka Chudamani, and his views on that are printed as books. Later, he also dictated commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, which were published in 1957.
Now it's said that a true leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Gurudev was a perfect leader, and there were certain qualities in him that was proof to this. The first one was that he treated everyone with respect, irrespective of which caste they belonged to, or which gender, or whether they were the so-called outdated adults or the so-called immature youths.
Swami,
Yes.
even though we know that the child is innocent, why is that we feel attracted to clean child and repelled by another dirty one?
Hey, how can you ask this question to Swami? No. No question is unimportant or wrong. We must always start with the simple ones.
So that was one of his qualities. The second was punctuality. So I heard from many of the senior members of Chinmaya Mission how punctual Gurudev was for every talk. So if the talk started at 7 p.m., he would be there at the location at least at 6:59, and he would be there on the stage and start his talk at 7 p.m. exactly. So I guess it's something that we can also learn from him. And the third one was that he encouraged understanding rituals in the whole sense. He made us understand that understanding the significance of rituals helps us enjoy those rituals more. He practiced what he preached. He had a very disciplined life with time dedicated to sadhana and the rest of the time dedicated to seva for Chinmaya Mission. And fearlessness. So Tabor Maharaj had another disciple whose name was Swami Mulund, who had said that when a person has one positive quality in great measure, then all the positive qualities follow him. And when all these qualities are directed to a higher goal, then everything in the universe just helps the person achieve their goal. And Gurudev's fearlessness was one example that he used. He did not support idealizing as well. So as Chinmaya Mission grew, many people started worshipping and idealizing him. So Gurudev told them, of course, it was not without reason, he was a magnanimous character, but Gurudev told them that instead of worshipping him, one should worship God. Because when you worship a human, when you hear something negative about that person, you will feel disappointed. But if you worship God, God would never disappoint you. The next was discouraging complacency. So whenever there was a meeting for the organization of a yajna, Gurudev would start with spelling out the mistakes or shortcomings of the previous yajna so that it won't be repeated. So these are some qualities that are proof for how great a leader Gurudev was.
This great leader of ours has given us some techniques for the better understanding of Dharma, which we all can learn and also see from his videos. So first of which is a BMI chart. We have seen in many of his videos and we can also see right now. So BMI stands for body, mind and intellect, and it means that all of these are controlled by our vasanas. Once a man transcends these vasanas, we can reach the higher spiritual goal. Gurudev used to use these charts intensively to explain about all the philosophical concepts. And then he also had collective chanting of verses before their explanation. So this ensures that a person is getting to know what he's actually studying and also ensure an active class. And then for the youth, he had some engaging activities like essay competitions and satirical plays. Further, he has pieces suggested doing japa, dhyana, and also pilgrimages. In 1955, he was invited to All India Radio, where he gave a speech about symbolism of rituals and science of life.
When his speech grew, the yajna days shortened from 100 days to about 5 to 7 days. Havans became Lakshyarchanas, which we still perform. But however big Chinmaya Mission grew, Gurudev made it a point to visit all the centers to solve their problems and revitalize them.
And with this baby steps of gradual progress, we now have a family of Chinmaya Mission of which we all are a part. So Chinmaya Mission informally already began when the yajna started. But a few members from Madras wanted to start a formal organization. And when they approached Gurudev for this, as Jyotika earlier said, that he did not want to be idealized. He mentioned to them that he had come here to spread the idea, the knowledge, and not to institutionalize. So he decided that he will help them in advisory capacity. And when Chinmaya Mission began, and soon it began in 1953, and within 1955, it has 6 branches in Madras, which has small libraries, group discussions, meditations, and much more. In 1958, they started the organization for women, which was called as Chinmaya Devi Group, and it had its first conference in 1960.
Now, catch them young was a phrase that Gurudev used for children. So he always believed that the religious and cultural values should be taught to people right from their childhood, because that is when they absorb it the most. So in view of that, the first program for children was held in 1960. And soon after that, Baltihar classes started. So I'm pretty sure most of us might be knowing that Baltihar classes are classes where children are engaged with games, stories, chantings, bhajans, and the main focus of which is making them imbibe values. And the families of the children who had started attending these Baltihar classes could see the difference. They could see the difference in their attitudes. They started respecting elders without the elders having to demand them of respect. And they also started doing activities with a renewed sense of dedication. And Gurudev pressured children. And there's an evidence for that, so let's see that.
Good. So the continuing girls learn in present. Right? Then you will teach them all the children. But next time when we meet, you all will be able to say that. All the countries in the world, those God, Poojya, the God, the Tabu. Okay, now.
We saw that not only Gurudev pressured children, children loved Gurudev. Now, apart from Baltihar, study classes were also started. So, study classes are basically 90-minute sessions where adults come together and discuss spiritual topics or spiritual activities. Then ChYK, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, they are all part of ChYK. So, Chinmaya Yuva Kendra was started to harness the potential of youth, and there are many centers of Chinmaya Mission who have ChYK classes and ChYK activities. And even here in Mulund we have ChYK classes every Sunday from 5 to 6:30. So the ongoing topic is skits for success, the Chinmaya way. Okay, I don't remember the actual topic, but the text that we're studying is Hanuman Chalisa. So if anyone is interested who fits the age group, or if you know someone who might be interested, they are always welcome. The more the merrier. They believe not in just spiritual betterment but also social betterment. And in the third National Chinmaya Convention, we said that now that we have soaked the ideals of Vedanta, it is time to give it back to the society. So, contributing in our capacity, whatever we can do for the betterment. Apart from that, there were classes for the underprivileged, diagnostic centers, nursery schools, distribution centers, hostels, spiritual retreats, etc. So CORD is Chinmaya Organization for Rural Development, which takes up various programs and initiatives for helping the people in the rural areas. And most importantly, he also founded the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. He also supported for the creation of Vivekananda Rock Memorial, and because he was a very true patriot, he also gave donations during the 1965 war. Now, I'm pretty sure most of us might be aware of Santigiri Sarnalai in Powai. So, if you have not visited, you must visit it. I'm pretty sure most of you must have. So, Santigiri Sarnalai is the center of Chinmaya Mission, where brahmacharis and brahmacharinis are trained. But there was something interesting that happened during the construction of Santigiri Sarnalai. So, let's see that. Since the Santigiri Sarnalai is built on top of the hill, will we have enough water for the operation of this transformer?
Big
until you strike.
Okay.
They have started digging. It seems 300 feet.
To be honest, I don't think you'll find water in this place.
No, what Gurudev says, it happens. I'm saying this from an experience. Hey, we found water at 400 feet. See, I told you.
The second chapter talks about the Sthita Prajna. A Sthita Prajna is the one which, yes, come in.
Gurudev, we found water at 400 feet. I don't know.
Gurudev,
Yes.
why am I not able to understand the nature of my true self in spite of all this?
Dig until you strike.
I did not understand something.
Dig until you strike. Do not stop until you reach the truth.
Okay,
So dig until you strike was a phrase that Gurudev used to tease his students from time to time after that. So with this grace and with Bhagwan's grace, the construction of Chinmaya was successful and the first course started in 1963. So basically before getting admission or getting into Chinmaya course, students are initiated to Brahmacharya and after getting into it, they perform various activities like daily service. Each of them are allotted sevas, which they do every day. And they learn Sanskrit from professionals, learn chanting, and also have their regular classes, which is initially taken by Gurudev and then later they assign teachers for the same.
And with this, Gurudev became famous internationally. There were many bhaktas from America who invited him there to give his speeches and talks. So in 1964, he decided to do a sort of world tour and visited 12 countries, including Thailand and Sicily.
In 1972, Gurudev suffered his third heart attack. So usually what happens is that when a person suffers from a heart attack, his or her family has to console him, right? But here the opposite happened. Gurudev had to console his devotees. So he used to say that this is just an instrument that I use to fulfill my sankalpa and it just needs a bit of repairing and resting, that's all he used to say. And he took his first treatment in America and then he was transferred to India. Now here he became the first patient in the new Chinmaya hospital in Bangalore. And guess what he said?
How nice. I inaugurated the outpatient ward in my school. And today, I inaugurated the inpatient ward here.
So even amidst disease and illness, his humor was ever alive. Now, since his heart condition was quite severe, he was recommended rest. But he became restless thinking about the remaining work. And he also started, because of that, he started delegating his work to various Swamis, including the next global head, Swami Chinmayananda. And after that, over the years, he won awards, he got invited to inaugurations and conferences, with the networks and activities of Chinmaya Mission grew, camps for adults in the Bali, that is the popularity of Chinmaya Mission grew, and it just kept on growing.
Gurudev attained Mahasamadhi on 3rd August 1993 in San Diego. And a week before attaining Mahasamadhi, he mentioned to the people around him, feeling like a rope being pulled on both ends. On one hand, the Lord was calling him, and on the other, his devotees still needed him. But he ensured to have the continuity of Chinmaya Mission, his vision, and whatever his interests were for other people, through Swami Chinmayananda by making him the next head.
So on the 75th year of Chinmaya Mission, it's good to look at the progress that we have made. So you can, this is Chinmaya Mission today, you can just read it in a few seconds. I'll just read out the statistic. So 350 plus locations worldwide, 250 plus Swamis and Brahmacharis are involved, 1,000 plus spiritual study forums, 1,000 plus publications, this was just the tip of the iceberg of Gurudev's life. There are many more interesting things to know about Gurudev. And if you are someone who is interested, we can definitely read his biography. As someone who has read it, I would definitely recommend you to read it. And if you don't have it and if you want to buy it, you can approach the desk and they will take care of it for you.
And if not the book, you can also watch the movie on Swami's life titled Morning Well, which is available on YouTube.
So that's it for the first part of the session. Thank you so much. Over to Vaishnavi and Atharva for the next part.
Okay, so let's have a quiz based on the PPT presented just now.
So that will be 12 questions in total. The question will be based on the PPT shown on Swami Chinmayananda's slide. And each question will be asked in MCQ form. The questions will have 4 options each. And the questions will be conducted in 10 seconds timer. In that timer, a volunteer will be appointed to your group. So you need to answer the volunteer and they will at the end, they will tally the marks.
बी हाँ आप लोग सब बी में हो हाँ फिर सी किधर है बी में ये पूरा सी है कितना कम आएगा
Question 1. Balkrishna Menon originally wanted to visit states mainly to option A. Learn meditation style, option B. Become a monk immediately, option C. Expose sadhus as saints, option D. Study Sanskrit.
You have to answer only to your volunteer.
And your time starts now.
Now. Volunteer.
Okay, time's up.
Question 2. Before beginning the Jnana Yajna in Pune, Gurudev gave a public address titled option A. Awake Arise, option B. Let us be Hindus, option C. Return to Dharma, option D. Discover yourself. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Question 3. Which statement from the below about the Pune Yajna is correct? Option A. 18 days, 100 attendees. Option B. 100 days, 100 attendees. Option C. 100 days, 18 attendees. Option D. 18 days, 18 attendees. Your time starts now. Time's up.
Next question. Question 4. The management of the 100-day Yajna was combined together to form option A. Bhagavad Gita commentary, option B. Science of Life, option C. Viveka Chudamani notes, option D. Keno Upanishad textbook. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Question 5. The group started for ladies in 1958 was given the title option A. Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, option B. Vedanta Women's Circle, option C. Mata Mandal, option D. Devi Sangha. Your time starts now.
B, shut out and get up. Option C, shut up and get up. Option D, shut out and get out. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Question 7. What effect did Gurudev's time in jail have on him? Option A. Develop political ambitions. Option B. Reflect on death and disease. Option C. Inspired to write novels. Option D. Motivated to leave India. Your time starts now. Time's up.
Question 8. Who helped Gurudev organize his first public talks in Kerala? Option A. Swami Vivekananda. Swami Shivananda. Option B. Adi Shankaracharya. Option C. Tabor Maharaj. Option D. Shankar Maharaj. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Question 9. Which scripture classes began in the morning after Gurudev's reach expanded? Option A. Upanishads. Option B. Vivek Chudamani. Option C. Ramayana. Option D. Mahabharata.
Your time starts now.
Time's up.
Question 10. Humans were later replaced by Option A. Meditation camps. Option B. Temple visits. Option C. Gita meditation. Option D. Laksha Archana. Your time starts now.
Time's up. Question 11. Gurudev was invited globally by Option A. Political leaders. Option B. European universities. Option C. American bhaktas. Option D. Indian ambassadors. Your time starts now. Time's up.
Question 12 and last question. Consider yourself lucky if you find 10 or 15 listeners for Vedanta is said by Swami, Option A, Swami Chinmayananda. Option B, Tabor Maharaj. Option C, Swami Chinmayananda. Option D, Swami Shivananda.
Your time starts now. Time's up.
So this is the answer key and also volunteers from
All the volunteers are requested to tally their answers and decide a winner.
Leave the screen so that they can see the answers also. And check the answers.
Group A.
So Group A has got 12 out of 12.
Group B. Group B also has scored 12 out of 12. Group C.
Group C has scored 8 out of 12.
Group D. Group D also has 12 out of 12. Congratulations to all the groups.
everyone gets chocolates. Over to the next. So, Shravan and Will.
So, and I hope you all enjoyed the PPT, the skits, and skills also. Now we move on to the last activity for the day. So it's a game. Again, you all will be in the same groups that were there before. So the game is called Think the Chinmaya Way. It's a very interesting game that we made for all of you. And the rules will be put to you forward by winner.
Okay, so as Shravan said, we'll play a game called Think the Chinmaya Way. So there will be 4 teams, and each team will be given a problem based on real life situations, and each team will discuss the root cause of the problem and the treatment. Each team will be given 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and after that each group will speak their stand, and then we will display the Gurudev steps, what would have Gurudev done in those situations or problems.
So I hope all you can change the format as per your preference. So each group has a volunteer assigned, and you all will be having a piece of paper with you which has the situation. It is of a real life problem. The time starts. Oh, okay, I'll start. Let everyone settle down. So I'm starting the time. There will be 5 minutes. All the best.
Gurudev tava mahaniya kripa Gurudev tava mahaniya kripa mere jeevan ka avalamban hai bas ek yahi mera bal hai Gurudev tava mahaniya kripa
So we begin with group A first. So I'll read out group A's situation to all of you all so that you all can understand. Raman is a middle class employee working in a startup. Lately he has been experiencing a lot of clashes with his wife. At this point they haven't been talking to each other for a month. His boss complains about how he is not able to deliver concrete results. He has messed up in many of the projects in the past 1 month, and the company has been losing clients because of the same. But Raman can't help it since he feels sleepy during work. So this is the situation 1, and I request one person or 2 people from group 1 to take over the
The root cause of this problem seems to be the domestic issue, where the husband and wife are not talking with each other. So that seems to be the root cause. So the husband and wife need to speak to each other. Raman will have to speak to his wife, understand the problem, and try to resolve the whole issue at the first point. And after that, once that is resolved, he will probably be able to pay better attention at his work, and he will. The next question which was asked is what would Gurudev suggest? So we felt Gurudev would have suggested that you do japa, and once you do japa, your mind will calm down. Once your mind calms down, you will be able to resolve, deal with the issues, and hope and progress correctly.
great job done by Group 1. So we'll provide a few tips given by Gurudev. It is taken from People's Spiritual Dynamics, the book written by Gurudev. So a few tips from that are the problem is lack of concentration. The problem to this scenario is lack of concentration and lower quality of performance. The solution or the tips are to get at least 6 hours of sleep, get a ideally between 4:30 and 6 to experience the quiet of the early morning, which will give a head start to your day and prepare your mind for your battles of the day. You can also do japa or mantra writing, which improves mindfulness and focus by tuning out your thoughts. So, great job done by Group 1, and let's move on with Group 2. Vikas will read the solution. Meanwhile, one person from Group 2 can the situation, and one or two people from Group 2 can come ahead.
Situation 2, Priya Vrata was drinking her tea in the balcony where a message pops up. I'm really sorry, your brother is no more. She drops her phone and absent-mindedly puts down her cup with her shivering hands. She attends the funeral with a broken heart. After the 13-day rite, she sits in her balcony again. She thinks, tomorrow I go to work again, I come back, sleep, and then I go again. The day after, what is the use of this? When all of it culminates in death. All her friends are concerned. She has been isolating herself and looking depressed all day. She even talked about ending her life in an offhand manner.
Not accepting the reality of life, sense of vulnerability, not knowing what to do next, and it's a basic lack of knowledge coming from attachment to relative friends. Possible solutions is ideally to cope with it, but what can you do practically for that? Is one, take external help, counselor or somebody senior in the family circle who can talk to her. And on more practical basis, join Chinmaya Mission's study class. Bhagavad Gita specifically, because that gives you actually not only the reality of life, but also what you can do, in terms of life, yoga also. This is finally like dedication, to God. So those is what we would think as solutions that Gurudev could have done.
So let's move on with Gurudev's tips.
Okay, so the problem was the feeling of meaninglessness and hopelessness and lack of direction. And the solutions would be charity, giving in thought, cash or kind, with humility, reading religious books and lives of great masters. Unraveling the deeper meaning helps you to adopt the correct spirit of life.
Great job done by Group 2. So let's move on to Group C. I'll be reading the situation. Shirish is a marine biologist. He visited Kerala backwaters one day and he saw an undiscovered species of fish. He was very enthusiastic about it. This would have been a great boost in his career. He takes a picture and studies it. After writing a research paper on it and publishing it, he gets to know that many people started visiting the village, thus disturbing the village life as well as disrupting the habitat suitable for the fish. The population of the fish thus declines, and Shirish vaguely recalls that the villagers had warned him about this. But he thought that scientific knowledge is for the greater good, which goes beyond that of any single village. A similar thing had happened to him in Kolkata and Karnataka as well. He had felt very guilty back then and he feels so good now. He isn't able to understand where he was going wrong. So I request representative from Group C to come forward and take over the dance.
The problem here was that he was feeling guilty that because of him something is happening. So we could just thought of a solution. Maybe do this and you focus on your actions, rest leave up to Lord, and you were told to do meditation or japa. Solution.
Great job that I Group 3. So the problem identified here is the inability to change yourself as a negative quality and
so here the negative quality would be him thinking about himself only. So he was actually thinking about his promotion and his work, but he was in the disguise of the scientific welfare and all that. So that is ineffective.
And the solution or the tip can be to find your own company, developing spirit of inquiry, which will help you in finding the right friends, monitoring your life and its consequences, maintaining a spiritual diary, becoming more conscious about your actions and its impact on life. This analysis will help you to consciously change your actions. You can also record the virtues and its respective consequences by trying to adopt and demonstrate virtue every day, and record those virtues of how you demonstrated it and the obstacles you face in your spiritual life. So, now last but not the least, let's move on to group 4, breakdown done by group C. And group 4, the situation is.
Situation 4. Shambhavi is the general manager of a software company. She is known for her sincerity, dedication, and discipline. She is highly competent in her field, and it was through this unique level of competence that she got promoted to this post in a matter of 3 years. However, having come to this post, she realizes that it is not going to be the same anymore. Her post as a manager requires her to direct employees under her to do work, and the said employees in her case are all very irresponsible and careless. They use ChatGPT for all their problems instead of approaching her. This affects their performance, but ultimately her superiors hold her accountable for the problems. She feels very stressed about it. Additionally, her mother, who wants her to remarry soon, has found a proposal that would potentially compromise her career. She has no say in it. She has started having blackouts and panic attacks recently.
So I request.
What we understood is Shambhavi is the team leader, and she is very good and she expects everyone to be the same. So what she needs to realize is anything and everything can be solved through communication. Everybody cannot be on the same level. So she's agitated because they are not able to reach her level, and her boss holds her responsible. So she needs to be patient. She needs to delegate work, sit with them and communicate, be calm. And Gurudev will introduce her to Bhagavad Gita because it teaches you equanimity and how to deal with dualities of life. Like in chapter 2, they say yoga samatvam jubilicious. So she will be able to deal with it like very equanimous.
Great job done by you. The problem and solution here, the problem can be too much of stress and pressure and suffocation in life. The solution can be
surrender your doership, do your best, leave the rest. Remember, everything that I do is influenced by a lot of external factors which is controlled by God and outside our own control. Things will get better when it is supposed to. Find solace in prayer, have faith in God and pray to Him. Engage in selfless service, learn to serve Bhagavan through the people you are serving.
Great job done by Group B, and congratulations to all of you all who have done very well in the quiz in this game, and thank you so much for having a look at our presentation. So with this we come to a close. This is from Shravan, Veda, Jyotika, Anusha, Vaishnavi and Atharva. And we come to a close.